what is it that they do and who do they sell to? Once I have an understanding of what that is, I then start digging into differentiation, value proposition, problem that they solve, company's point of view, messaging, right? Those are the things that you're trying to convey, right? So you have to come up with engagement that is creative, fun, serious, educational. You choose it. Doesn't matter. Should be based on your audience, right? Like what you're deciding. Like some audiences, man, they just love a good party. Throw the best party. Some audiences like education. They want to understand things. They need space to have things explained. They need space to ask questions. Yeah. It's different. So you can plan your engagements around the customer, and then you plan your engagements around point of view, messaging, differentiation, and that's where like theme and engagement activities come into play. Like you don't give that audience a Jeopardy video game to sit and play because they're just not going to want to.
Yeah. I hear you when you're saying like think of the person, right? I'm not going to create the same engagement for a group of realtors as I am going to create an engagement for a group of mechanical engineers.
No, like if I was doing engagement for realtors, it would be like a photo shoot. Yeah. Because they do 500 a year. It would be like me, put it on, do that flashy, fun photos, a photo booth, headshots, things that boost them up on a pedestal because I know that because I know realtors, right? Sure. So like, so you could take anything and dive into what would they appreciate? What would they really like? What would they engage with?
Yeah, so that's foundational. I'm a point of view guy, right? Like I'm a big believer in the point of view. You really validated that for me when we presented at Exhibitor Live. And very recently, I had this like experience where I saw the value of it, right? We were at this trade show a couple of weeks ago. I had led a point of view workshop with the team right before the trade show, which by the way, from here on out, that's how I want to do it. Yeah. And day 2 of the show, their COO, who is also kind of like their chief evangelist, was like, hey man, we're going into this like big party night. And I've done thousands of shows over my career. And every one of these shows that I've been going to, I feel like I've been selling these people for 2 days, and now I'm going to like run into them and they're going to just feel like I'm selling them again. Yeah. Because we implemented this point of view, this larger narrative that relates to their world, I feel very different today because we've been having these in-depth conversations about stuff that we both care about and aligning. And now I feel like I'm walking into this party having built relationships for 2 days and it's going to be genuine and it's going to work. That was a big aha moment for me. And it took me back to like the first time of like you saying how the booth has to have a point of view. And when you walk up to the booth and they say, what's going on here? The answer has to be the point of view.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But I think with like what you're talking about, that point of view is interesting because you're kind of planting your flag and you're saying like, this is what we care about. This is who we are. And this is what the world looks like when you work with us. Yep. And I think you're then you don't have to sell people. You don't have to have your salespeople hounding them with feature and benefit and telling them shit that they don't even really care about, right? Because a lot of salespeople are bad at asking really good questions and getting down to like, what is the problem that you're trying to solve? What keeps you up at night about your job? What is the thing that you have the biggest headache with, right? And then how does what we do fit into that? How can I solve your problems? Now you're just saying, this is what we do. This is our point of view. And if there's alignment in you needing that, let me know. People tend to do it. When they fully understand your message and your point of view, they will come to you and be like, tell me more about that. Like, man, I've really struggled with that. Yeah, and I think it's just a different way of selling, but I think it really is a different way of marketing. It's a different way you use the word relationship. So one of the things, and again, like I'm always like kind of taking information from like consulting calls and our customers and jobs we're doing in the podcast, and then I'm trying to like put it into things to give to people that are tangible. But like relationships equal pipeline. That goes back to the old day of like people just with really strong relationships that drive an immense amount of business. Well, I think you can do that at your events. You can build relationship, which then down the line creates pipeline, all different kinds of pipeline. New pipeline, right? Deal acceleration on pipeline. Because maybe they're in the deal, they don't know you all that well, but then they get done with the show like, damn, those people at ABC they're awesome. Like, I dig what they're saying. Like, okay, now that deal just accelerates through and closes, or you have a customer that maybe is like iffy on you, doesn't use you as much as they should, or hasn't really like opened the floodgates for you, and they meet you and they spend 2 days with you on and off, booth, offsite, and like that point of view lands for them. Man, you're gonna have a customer that's spending 50 grand that then spends 250. That's pipeline.
Yeah.
But you have to invest in building the relationship, and that's not transactional.
Yeah.
It's a different approach.